This is the Jested Telecommunications Tower and Hotel in Liberec, which is to the north of Prague in the Czech Republic. The hotel is situated on top of a mountain. It was built in the mid-1960s as a telecom point of the Soviet state network. Telecommunications towers are a unique building form of the Cold War. With the advances made in satellite technology after the launch of the Soviet Sputnik in 1957 and this ever-expanding electronic network of communications around the world, these structures became necessary. But in producing designs for them, particularly in the Eastern Bloc, the telecommunications tower could also be used to serve as a symbol of a great technological modernity. They would become a kind of symbols of power, and it was a way of establishing the Eastern Bloc had a claim on the technological future, had a claim on this vision of modernity. And I suppose that's why we see structures like this as the essence of Cold War modern. This mountain has been a place of local walks and visits for hundreds of years, and there had been a structure here predating this futuristic tower in the 1960s, a 19th century building that was a hotel and cafe, a kind of walking lodge really, that burnt down in the early 60s. And so in 63 a proposal was put forward to an architectural competition to propose a new building that wouldn't only have this leisure function, but would also allow the authorities to place this huge aerial, effectively, on top of the mountain. And then many local architects, many Czech architects entered the competition. The brief was for a transmission tower and a hotel, and most of them responded to the brief by suggesting two buildings. However, the winner of the competition, Karel Hubáček, a very prominent local architect who was head of the state architecture department in Liberec, proposed the merging of the two functions. So the form of the hotel would be determined by the necessary technological infrastructure for the telecommunications tower. The building is designed as a tall, thin tower, really in the shape of a rocket. It sits on top of a sharp peak, and effectively the shape of the tower completes the peak. On the bottom level, on the lower levels, you have several circular floors that contain viewing galleries for visitors, restaurants and cafes, and then an internal core which holds the services for the building. There's an upper level with several hotels rooms, all of which have this extraordinary curving windowscape, which is rather like being inside a spaceship. We selected the Jested Tower to be included in Cold War Modern for very particular reasons. First of all, it's probably the most technologically ingenious of all the buildings that we include, due to its extreme location on top of a mountain. The architects who undertook the commission saw themselves, in a sense, as the inheritors of a modernist vision, a utopian modernist vision, and in fact borrowing from other industries to complete their visions of these extraordinary space-age buildings. The reference to the space age is not only simply because this looks like a rocket landed on top of some kind of Thunderbird's landscape. These architects saw science and technology as one of the key drivers of the socialist economy in the 1960s. And this was part of this very widespread vision that in the space age, in the race to compete with the West, to demonstrate progressiveness, to demonstrate a coherent vision of the future, then engineering structures, space age materials and the language of symbolism of the space age could be employed in a building like this.